Welcome to the most listened to golf in the world, the Fairways of Life show, on air, online, and around the world, with the most candid interviews, unforgettable stories, taking you beyond the ropes. Here's your host, New York Times best-selling author, Matt Adams.
Welcome into the Fairways of Life show. Folks, absolute delight to have your company from wherever you are joining us today. You know, one of the things that we love to do here on the Fairways of Life show, and we've had this pleasure, this honor, this privilege of doing it for years, is we have partners that we align ourselves with because of whatever the shared passion is for the particular area of golf that they touch. I'll give you an example. Like today we're going to hear from the Travelers Championship. It is now, you know, at the top tier on the PGA Tour. It was a signature event. Last year, a signature event. This year, but at the core of who the Travelers Championship has always been is that we can use the game of golf. And this is what blows me away about golf, and one of the reasons why I love it as much as I do. That you can use the game of golf to touch the lives of others, change the lives of others, and in some cases, save the lives of others. So we're going to delve into that. And it's something that I know connects with all of you because every one of you in some way are involved in using the game of golf to help another life, whether you consume a product on television or in whatever means you do in that medium, or maybe it's these charity events that you are a part of throughout the course of the year. They all are generating funds and impacts that go back into the community and these lives as mentioned. So we're going to be getting into that today. It's not all we're going to be doing. We're going to continue down that road and just talk about how the game of golf can improve the game of life as we continue. From the earliest days of the PGA Tour, charity has always been a cornerstone of the game. Think about that for a second. For those of us that love the game of golf, for those who are passionate about the game of golf, to think that we can use it as a stage, as a platform from which to give back, to directly impact, and in many, many cases, change the lives of others. You're looking at beautiful new drone footage from TPC River Highlands. That's the host site of the Travelers Championship. You guys know my affection for the Travelers Championship. And to think that a corporation of the stature of the Travelers can use that status, can use their platforms through the game of golf to make an impact is something absolutely remarkable. Andy Bessette is the Executive Vice President and Chief Administrative Officer for Travelers. Nathan Grube is the Tournament Director. And we have the delight of having their company today because they have a huge announcement to make about that charitable impact and how it continues to evolve. So, gentlemen, first of all, welcome into the program. Thank you, as ever, for taking the time that you do to spend with us. Andy, I wonder if I could start with you and ask you about what your news is in terms of the Travelers Championship from this past year along this theme of giving back.
You know, Matt, first of all, thanks for all that you do to bring our message to life, because without you, we can't do this. And, you know, this year, Nathan and I worked really hard to put on our first signature event at the Travelers Championship. But I think what's also really important is that we raised over $3.2 million for 206 charities. And
wow,
what we do is so important to the community. That's why Travelers is the title sponsor, a signature title sponsor of this event, is because it does so much good for the community, and it does so much good for charitable organizations that need the exposure and the funding that we're able to give.
Nathan, if I may, you guys have a stated objective every year, and that is to make the event better than the year before. And you've been telling me that same mantra for many, many years, and sometimes it's head-scratching to think, where do you go from here? Yet when we look back on 2024 as a signature event, most of the top 50 in the world that were eligible to be there, that were there. You end up having Scotty Scheffler win. You pretty much ticked all the boxes. I guess the short question to the long-winded introduction is, how do you pull it off?
Well, again, Matt, thanks for having us on. I think it starts with when you have a tournament that is, I think, such a direct part of the culture and DNA of your title sponsor with Travelers. It makes it a little bit easier to push the envelope every year. I mean, in their culture, they want to, they treat people like their customers. They want to get better every single year with their product and how they take care of people. And when you have that kind of overarching theme that pushes us every year, I mean, listen, we're thrilled every year that the players say great things about us, our volunteers say things about us, that our charity has grown every year. I mean, that's awesome. But I mean, Andy and I know, like, we celebrate that for about 4 or 5 days post-tournament. And then it's like, hey, let's tear this thing apart. And there has got to be a way we can make every single experience better, with the ultimate goal being we're going to drive more revenue, we're going to reduce expenses so that we can actually give more and more to charity every year. And when you think about it, when Travelers took over, the tournament was generating just under $300,000 for charity, which was great. Great number, a lot of charities impacted. To go 10x that, and we're now north of 3.2 million, and we've had the most charities ever, 206 charities. At our charity celebration a few weeks ago, we got to kind of hear a lot of these stories, and Andy and I hear these stories year round, but when they're standing up there and they are talking about how much $5,000 means, how much $100,000 means, and the actual impact in the community, like, that is one of the biggest motivators for us to do our job better. When we have to continually push this and get better and better, because we know at the end of the day, lives are going to be changed if we do our jobs well and the tournament grows as charitable impact every year. So, I mean, again, that's a long-winded answer to your question, but I mean, it starts with a title where the tournament is part of their DNA. How we run the tournament is how they run their company. How do we get better every single year? And it's that relentless pursuit that, here we are. I mean, Andy and I have worked together almost 20 years because we worked together a little bit leading into the tournament, but every year just chipping away at it. And then here you are 2 decades later making a big impact in our community.
I think, too, the other piece of it, too, Matt, that's so important, and what Nathan's saying is that what this tournament brings to the community, right? It brings exposure for these charities and also funds, but also the whole community element of this is pride. I mean, we have over 3,000 volunteers who give their time to make this tournament what it is. And the pride, I have people walking down the streets who stop me to say, thank you so much for doing what you do with the Travelers Championship. And this is like this is our 18th year. Yeah. And so to have the pride in the community in Connecticut, but also through New England, is really terrific. It's really second to none. We try to touch so many different bases. With the Charlie Sifford event we do every Tuesday, which is phenomenal, to celebrate Charlie Sifford, who was our champion in 1967. And his son, Charlie Jr., comes out every year, and we raise over $100,000 every year for the Charlie Sifford Foundation. And so, you can look at what we do holistically and look at the numbers we give, but you have to dig down, I think, into the details and look at the pride and what we do around the Charlie Sifford event and diversity. And I think it's such an important part of who we are as Travelers, as a corporation, but also who we are as a tournament, right, Nathan? It's what we've become.
When you go back 18 years, Andy, maybe just more than 18 years in fairness to this question, and you think about when you guys were contemplating stepping in and saving this event on the PGA Tour, what were the risks at that time? What scared you about what you were about to do? And has it turned out exactly the way that you anticipated, or did it take on a life of its own?
Wow. Matt, that's a great question. But I think I would focus in on the fact that in 2005 and 2006, when we were getting ready to do this, I had negotiated the title agreement with PGA Tour. I had just met Nathan, and we knew that we had the 2006 tournament to learn what we needed to do to be great. And I think really right from the beginning, before we had one swing of a golf club in 2007, we knew that we were not going to accept the status quo. That's been our mantra for right, Nathan, since '06. Don't accept the status quo. Always be better. Always, always be better. And, you know, it works in sports. When I was in sports, it works in life. And I think that that's really important for us in the way we behave, where we carry ourselves, what we do. But I remember the number of people that were willing to help us. I mean, in the one story I think that's very interesting, that Jay Monahan was running the Deutsche Bank Championship in Boston, and a friend of mine introduced me to him, and he said, "Hey, call Jay. I think he'll be willing to help you." He came to Hartford, sat down with he and a couple of people, and said, "Andy, I'm going to tell you what to do, what not to do to make this a great tournament." And I'm like, "Wow, that's really cool. This guy actually runs the Deutsche Bank. He must know what he's talking about." Well, fast forward through the decades, right now, Jay Monahan is the commissioner, and still a great supporter and a great friend of our tournament. And that's really important stuff. People were willing to help. Mike Tirico was willing to help. I mean, so many. Jim Nance is willing to help. The golfers. Oh gosh, I can't even start with the list of names of golfers and caddies. We were asking everybody, right, Nathan?
Yeah.
What can we do to be
Anybody
great?
Who would listen.
Anybody that would listen. Anybody would talk to us at that time, because we were nothing. We were just some tournament starting out. And I think it's really important that we've tried to pay it forward. Whenever another tournament asks us, "Hey, what do you do? How do you do this? How do you do this?" We tell them, because people were nice enough back then to tell us what to do and what not to do. And so it's kind of like your family, right? And you want to make sure that, hey, if the PGA Tour succeeds, the Travelers Championship succeeds. And I think that's really important in our messaging, in our charity, and in everything that we do.
It's amazing to hear you talk about some of those all-star names at the top, and Mike Tirico, and the fact that Chris Berman has been there for all the years too, and Jim Nance and on. But Nathan, Andy mentioned a number. He said 3,000 volunteers. First of all, that number is stunning, to think that you have an army that is that big to help you do what you do. Could you talk to us about the importance of those volunteers, the role that they play? And I guess after all these years of you guys doing what you're doing, how does it all work? How does it all coordinate? Are you getting the same people year after year? I'm assuming they're giving up vacation days in many cases to be there.
They are. We had, I'll start a couple weeks ago, we had a big volunteer function and event, and we celebrate the volunteers. You can't say thank you to them enough. And we celebrated those who had been here with us 50 years, 25 years, who started with us with Travelers. And it was really this mix of a lot of new people in the room who started on board when Travelers came on. And about half of our volunteers, Matt, are Travelers employees. So when you talk about kind of the DNA of the tournament in a company, I mean, they understand what they're volunteering for. They understand what this event is about. They understand the charitable mission, and they're out there with a purpose. And when you get the buy-in that they have, the players actually say it. They say, "Your volunteers, they make us feel like we're at our home tournament." And so when you get players from all over the country, all over the world that say, "Somehow you make this feel like a home game for us," that's our volunteers. So, I mean, half of them being Travelers employees, they understand what it's about. Taylor Whiting on our team, she's been with us, 10 plus years, and she handles all the committees. And we built her position that she oversees charity and volunteers. So there is always a direct connection between who's volunteering and why you're volunteering and the messaging there. And then, you break down a few thousand volunteers into, 30, 40 committees and what they do year round. And they take the same philosophy. They want their committee to be better every single year than they were the year before. So they send us feedback during the year. What if we did this? What if we did this? And so the evolution of the volunteer program and the experience, you could actually run that parallel to our charity growth and things like that. So, but to Andy's point, pride is probably the biggest thing that you feel. You walk into the volunteer villa in the mornings at 4:30 in the morning, and people are so excited to be there, and they know why they're there, and they're all energetic, and it's, I mean, it's early, and they're going to be there late, but they are bought into everything that's going on, and that's the foundation to be able to jump off from with the product that you're offering your sponsors and the players and the caddies.
I'm glad you're there at 4:30, because they're still energized like that at 7 o'clock when I get there.
Yeah, I'm asleep by 7.
I'm very impressed. You're there at 4:30. Wow.
Nathan, I want to follow up on something else that you just said there, where for the volunteers, there's a mentality that this is a home game. I believe that it's safe to say that that's the same mentality from the players, because you guys have always gotten an exceptional field. What is it about the Travelers Championship, do you think, that connects with the best players in the world that they want to come back again and again?
I think one big piece of it is we don't take it for granted. I'll tell you a story. So Andy and I, we were out on tour. We go to a couple events a year. Andy is very good about carving out time in his schedule to come out, talk to the players, the caddies, make sure that they understand how important this is to Travelers. And I remember it this year, one of the players said, "Hey, you guys are Signature. Why are you out here?" And Andy went, "What do you mean? Why are we out here? We want to get better. We want to make this what you want it to be. Just because we're a signature event doesn't mean all these guys have to come every year." So I would say, start with the players and the caddies. We don't feel like we deserve anything. We feel like we have to earn it every single year. We've been given this opportunity to be a signature event, and we want to absolutely earn it. And I think the players appreciate that. And we're continually asking them and their wives and their caddies and their managers and their interpreters and the equipment reps, like, "Hey, how do we make this better for you? How do we make this experience better?" And that resonates. You do that for 20 years. You ask somebody, "How can we make it better?" And then you deliver on that question. When they say, "Oh, you could do this," and we deliver on it. The caddy cars this year.
Yeah.
That was an idea that came up. Being a signature event, we have half the field. Andy said, "I think it's still really important that we provide the best experience for the caddies. How are we going to make it better for the caddies this year?" And we started going out on tour saying, "Hey, we're actually going to give you guys cars this year as well. Not just the players, but you get cars for the week." And they would stop on their tracks and go, "I'm sorry, what? Like, we get cars this year?" And we're like, "Yes, we're going to make it better for everyone." So I think when you start to just year over year deliver on the little things, we gave the wives lockers this year.
Yeah.
Like, to think about what a small thing that is, but actually what a big thing it is to them. And they stopped and said, "Oh my gosh, like, thank you. Like, we have no place to put our stuff week to week. We come out on property and we're trying to follow our husbands, boyfriends. We have all this equipment from daycare and things like that. And like, you thought about us to give us lockers." And so I think those things resonate. Andy does personal notes to players when the families have kids. And it's just, I think it's 100 little things, Matt, that add up to a culture where we care. I mean, we care about you when you come on property. This event is for you. It's not for us. And I think when you start with that attitude, I think it resonates.
And I think that it's very interesting, because what Nathan said about the notes, we've had a process that we've done from day one. We send out onesies to all the new babies. We have them in blue, pink, white, and my notes are always basically the same. It's to the child. It's not to the parent. And I basically say, "Welcome to the world. Your parents are really nice. Here's a onesie for you to enjoy, and do me a favor and make your mom and dad bring you to the Travis Championship so I can give you a hug." Well, yeah, okay, there's a little bit of a thing in there, right? So, but I'm telling you, I've gotten so many beautiful notes from moms back saying, "I can't believe you did this. I can't believe you wrote this note." And and so we're always doing the little things. We send puzzle stools to the kids. We have different things we do to different people, but we always recognize that they have a life, they have a family. There's their wives and their children, and if there's another child, we send a miniature golf shirt if they're more grown. We always have something. But also, as Nathan's last piece is, when we were down at the Tour Championship this year, we were down, and out of the 30 guys there, Nathan? We probably saw 25 of them, and we saw 25 caddies. The first question from every caddy was, "Andy, are we going to get cars again next year?" And of course, the only answer is, "Yes, of course you're going to get cars next year." And so everybody was like, so then they talked to their players, "You have to go make sure we're going. We can make sure we're going." And so there's a real sense of, I don't know what the right words, of what we do, right? To treat people. I have a saying that I use with my people at Travelers: always treat people the way you want to be treated. And that's really, really important, because you know what? Nobody likes to be treated like a jerk. Everybody likes it when people treat them nicely. So I always say to everybody, you treat people the way you want to be treated. And we do that with the players, their wives, their children. And that's why we do the charter for the plane to bring them in. That's been from day one, right, Nathan? So we do so many it's a little things that you do. If they like pizza, we have pizza trucks. They love pizza. More of the players always ask me, "Hey, for the Pro-Am, are you going to have the big green pizza truck on the front and the back? Because now we do 9 to 9, right?
Yeah.
And so, sure, Nathan and I went out and made sure we had big green pizza trucks on the front and the back 9. And so it's just a little thing.
It's amazing, isn't it? Because there are plenty of big things to point to that the Travelers Championship does extremely well. But it is also these series of little things, human things that connect with people that have helped make the event so very, very successful. I always like to say, folks, when you're talking about a corporate sponsor for a sporting event, that it is a revelation of a corporate soul. What is the reason that you're doing this for? And time and again, we see from Travelers that the reason why they do this is because of the impact that it makes in southern New England, because the lives that it impacts through and with what they do. And it extends all the way through to the heart and soul of the PGA Tour, when the best of the very best want to continue to come back. And much of that is because of the collective efforts of so many, led by the two gentlemen that are right before you, and Andy Bessette, the Executive Vice President and Chief Administrative Officer for Travelers, and Nathan Grube. As ever, gents, thank you very much for your time. Congratulations on another spectacular Travelers Championship. We're very much looking forward to everything that the future holds for both of you and all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Appreciate everything that you do to help us succeed from year to year.
Thank you. Amazing stuff. That's why we absolutely love those guys. Cannot wait for June of 2025. All right, when we come back on the Fairways of Life show, now we're going to really zone in on you and your game and your health and your life and how all of that is tied together. Probably not a great shock to you that that is the reality, but we're going to help you across that bridge. You're going to find this fascinating. The Fairways of Life show is presented by the PGA Tour Superstore. They are the #1 golf retailer. Full stop. Why? Yeah, those big, beautiful stores, of course. But I think it's because of their people. When you are at the PGA Tour Superstore, you are shopping with the pros.
I got ball fit in 2000, went on a little run. Then Bridgestone fit me again, and I went on another run. I just got fit again for the new Tour BX. The ball fitting's been helping me. Will it help you?
PGA Tour Superstore pros aren't born. They're made. Every January, hundreds of associates talk to the top manufacturers, learn about the latest clubs, test the newest equipment, log thousands of hours of training, and together, hit over 100,000 balls, all so they can get you the perfect fit.
I think when you're training for other sports, or why most people go to the gym is so that they can have muscles and be strong and be healthy. And a lot of the reason why they struggle to play golf is their body doesn't move properly for them to be able to hit a golf ball. And when you're training for golf, it's a little bit different because you're focused more on flexibility and mobility and being strong in motion. When you're able to kind of have a warm up and have a workout routine and kind of gradually build up to where you're training your body to move properly, yeah, you're going to get a lot of big dividends on the golf course.
Our journey began with a simple yet powerful vision to provide the world with the highest quality Virginia-type peanuts. The Hubbard Peanut Company, where quality and tradition meet to create an unforgettable experience. Visit hubspeanuts.com to explore our full range of products and place your order today.
Super easy to hit. Introducing the new PXG Black Ops irons, our first game improvement iron.
It's a larger face heel to toe.
It launches the ball high in the air and really far.
Much higher levels of forgiveness. You set that club down, it creates a lot of confidence. It's supported by this X-Core Holman material.
And that's where you get improved ball speed. If you're looking for a distance, forgiveness, and feel, Black Ops irons are going to be for you.
PXG, nobody makes golf clubs the way we do, period. Stride by Zero Friction, the first of its kind personal caddy. Walk in comfort and style with Stride's remote and follow me technology. The Stride handles almost any terrain, and its 54-hole range will last all day. The lightweight design and removable front wheels makes it simple to handle. Plus, it easily fits golf carts. Pick up your Stride today at a local PGA Tour Superstore near you or at zerofriction.com/Stride. Stride, your personal caddy.
Hey, I'm golf broadcaster Matt Adams, and where I'm standing right now certainly does not need any introduction. Clearly, right in front of the R&A building here, astride the first tee at the Old Course of St. Andrews. And the reason why we're recording this here is because I know that this is a bucket list for most people to play anywhere around the world. In my case, I'm delighted to say it's my job to be at places like this, which is what drew me to GolfForever. I started my relationship with them at the end of last year, and why I did it was pretty straightforward. You know, for a guy in his 50s, I wanted to gain more clubhead speed. I wanted to make sure I maintained or even gained more flexibility. Those are the objectives. And so I started to do what I was supposed to do every day, going through the programs, and new ones were recommended to me. And I found that as I was moving along, my effort to make sure that as Father Time marched on, that I could at least play to the same level as a single-digit handicap, or maybe even get a little bit better, was proven because it wasn't just about flexibility. It was also about exercise. It was also about getting you in the proper position for the respective golf swings. So all of that leading together really started to lead to something much, much more, which is what really excited me, because I found that because of GolfForever that I started to watch my nutrition more, what I was drinking more, working out more, lifting more, and the balance of it was such that I ended up losing 15 pounds of fat and replacing it with 15 pounds of muscle, just again, lifting it, what have you. And while that's not directly related to GolfForever, it's directly because of GolfForever that I started to take it all so seriously. And so because of all of that, and wanting to go to places like, St. Andrews here for work this week, but we just got back from a big fan trip with the show where we played Ballybunion, Lahinch, Tralee, the Old Head, all these great golf courses throughout Ireland. I wanted to make sure that I can do what I want, where I want, when I want, with whomever. And GolfForever has delivered all that for me. And so I just wanted to say that if you're looking to get stronger, if you're looking to improve your golf game, if you're looking to even more so improve your life, then GolfForever might be just the perfect vehicle for you, as it has been for me. So as you saw in that feature, which obviously we shot at St. Andrews, we were out there for the Women's Open. I was broadcasting for the BBC and the World Feed. I think that for me, being introduced to GolfForever and that partnership, it's been life-changing. Now, I know a lot of people, I bump into people all the time. It's really fun and very cool once you become associated with something like this, where people want to share their story. And there are so many stories of people playing better golf, improving their golf swing, improving their flexibility. What I was trying to express there that hopefully came across was that I was able to improve all of those things. I was able to improve my life, full stop, because of my association with GolfForever. We are delighted right now. Pete Holman is joining me, who's a co-creator of GolfForever. Peter, as you just saw, I mean, it's from the heart, and it's emotional for me, because when you're dealing with something like this, all of us collectively, you're dealing with quality of life, and you're dealing with making a decision to make your life better. Somewhere along the lines, you made a decision to be involved in making lives better through fitness, through understanding. So with that, first of all, I want to say welcome to the show. It's a pleasure to have your company. Could you tell us a little bit about your background and how that path led you to where you are now, that you are impacting the lives of many, 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 many people?
Whoa, Matty Ice coming out with curveballs out of the gate. I actually was in middle school, and I'm sorry, not middle school. I was in high school, my junior year of high school, and I was having a very difficult time in life. I was, kind of drinking and drugging and doing all the punky stuff that sometimes you get into as an adolescent. And it was the last day of school, and I'm walking out of school to go to the parking lot to kind of party with my friends. And I walk by the weight room, and I hear these clanking of weights going on. And I said, what's going on here? Are they lifting weights? Like, it's the last day of school. Everybody else is going out to party at summertime. And I look in the window of the weight room, and sure enough, it's some of the football team in there lifting weights. And I kind of got nervous and skittish, and I backed away from the door. And just then, whoosh, the door opens. And it's the strength coach. And he looked me dead in the eyes. He was big, ominous dude. He looks me dead in the eyes, and he says, are you going to stand there staring through the window? Or are you going to step inside and train with champions? And, after urinating on myself, I said, I think I'll step inside, please. And so I stepped inside, and he introduced me to strength training. That was the first time I'd lifted weights. And you know what? It wasn't just that my confidence improved. I got a new lease on life. I started to eat healthier. I started to run and jog. I started to respect myself, and my confidence grew. And it helped me to actualize my potential in other areas of life. And I think that's what GolfForever is all about. Obviously, as a golfer, I want you to play your best golf ever. I want you to lower your handicap. But as a physical therapist and strength coach, more importantly, I want you to live a long, viable life and be able to play with your grandkids on the beach and be able to go onto the hikes that you've never been on and go on the cruises and the trips. And let me tell you something, man, if you don't take care of yourself, if you don't take care of your body, where are you going to live?
It's amazing stuff, Peter. It's first of all, it's a very cool story about how you got into and introduced to fitness.
True story.
Part of me is just going, thank God that guy took the time to say to a kid, come on in here, big tough guy, come on in here, let's get started. And again, your whole life with helping people and training people and rehabilitating people, champion in Taekwondo, all these things that make all the parts that make up the whole. You decide to go down the road of GolfForever. And I guess what I was really hoping to accomplish here today, aside from introducing people who may not be familiar with GolfForever, whom I don't know if there's many of those left, but I was hoping to make people understand that for all the things that GolfForever is, it's more than just a training stick. Is that fair to start that way? Do you know where I'm going?
Absolutely, yeah. It's a vehicle to start moving again. It's an excuse to warm up before you play your round or before you hit range balls. Folks, if you're not warming up for 5 minutes, 10 minutes before you hit range balls, number one, you're not going to hit them well because you're not loose, you're not mobile. You're not ready to perform at a high level. And secondarily, you're going to get injured, or the chances of you getting injured significantly elevate. So, warm up before you play. And then on the off days, if you're not doing a little bit of exercise, golf-specific exercise, working on mobility, working on core strength, working on balance, guess what? If you have all three of those, you get increased rotational power, and that's where your distance comes. So everybody wants the quick fix, the shortcut. But if you're not doing some kind of general physical exercise, and our program, it's very golf specific, 2 to 3 times a week, you're not going to get to where you want to go. And by the way, most people have this preconceived notion that I've got to spend an hour and 20 minutes. I'm going to be lying on the floor in a puddle of sweat by the end of the workout. That's not the case. 2 to 3 times a week, 20-minute workouts is our average workout time, 22 minutes. You can build core strength. You can build mobility in your hips and your thoracic spine. You can build balance so you can right yourself over the ball and get in a great address position. And then you have the endurance so that you don't fall apart on the back nine, which is, has anybody ever had that experience? And so all these things help improve your golf game, but equally important, they help improve your quality of life and your health and wellness and vitality.
All right, so let's assume for a second that everybody on this side of the camera, Pete, that are looking at you are the kid that's looking through that glass door. Can you show us a few things and introduce the world into how and why GolfForever works, some of the moves, some of the things that we can give us an idea of what it's like to go through the program on a daily basis, as you were saying?
Yeah. So GolfForever, it's really two things, okay? We have a physical product. It's called the GolfForever Swing Trainer. And this is something that I co-created with our GolfForever team with my background in biomechanics and physical therapy. So it's literally a bar and a cord. The cord's attached to one side. So as soon as you start to move with this system, there's tension through your core, there's a balance challenge, and you have to start to move with mobility through three-dimensional space. So there's the swing trainer is phase one. Phase two is you got to know how to use it. So we have world-class coaches like myself, like other golf pros on the app that walk you through soup to nuts. Hey, here's your first move. We're going to warm up before you hit range balls, right? And we have different workouts. We also have a pretty slick assessment tool on the app that takes you through an assessment, and we look at all those things that are important in golf: core strength, mobility, balance, and then we can hone in on, hey, what are you deficient at, and how can we facilitate you getting better at those exercises? And then the last thing about the program is it's progressive. It gets a little harder over time, and that's a common theory in strength and conditioning. It's called progressive overload. You have to challenge the body over time. But check this out. So if you're watching live, or if you're listening, I'll try to describe this. You grab the bar. As soon as you start to rotate, guess what? You're strengthening your rotational muscles. Those are extremely important for golf and golf performance and back health. As soon as you start to rotate towards the end ranges, guess what? You're getting mobility and flexibility throughout the body. If you want a big turn, you have to be able to turn through your joints, through your hips, through your thoracic spine. How do you do that? You get on the swing trainer and you start to engage in those motions under light resistance. And then eventually we want to focus on speed and power. How do you do that? You have to move with speed and power. So a lot of times in the gym, you'll see people doing exercises, great exercises, bicep curls, bench presses, squats, lunges. These are wonderful. However, they're not golf specific. They strengthen your muscles. We want to strengthen the muscles in a rotational plane of motion so that over time you can add speed and velocity and power, and that's what gives you distance. One last thing about this bar is once we do the exercises on our orthodox side, guess what we got to do, Matt? We got to switch. We got to do the same drills on our unorthodox side, or for me, my left hand. So a lot of times in physical therapy, one of the first things we look at when we assess injuries and mechanical injuries is we look at symmetries or asymmetries from left to right. So a lot of people that have chronic pain and pathology dysfunction, they have a strength imbalance from the left to the right side. Golfers suffer from this all day long because all they do is swing from one side of the body. So a huge hallmark of our program is that we try to balance the body from left to right.
All right, so that's incredible. A couple of questions that I have after seeing what we just did. One is, what about people who are looking for some place or some way to anchor their GolfForever kit, and tell us more about the kit itself in terms of different applications, different handles, etc.
Yeah. So there's a misnomer that if somebody sees the GolfForever swing trainer being used by Scotty Scheffler out on the range and it's connected to a golf cart, and that's a simple way to connect it. You can connect it to a fence, a railing, a golf cart, just wraps around. But then everybody thinks, oh, I guess you have to have a golf cart to anchor it. That's not the case. You can anchor this thing anywhere. It's a simple carabiner. So you can clip the carabiner to a fence. You can loop it around a railing or a tree or a golf cart. But every kit also comes with a door anchor. Now, if you can see this door anchor has a little marble in the middle. Yep. You put the marble into a door jamb. You close the door on the marble, and you've got a solid anchor point to clip the carabiner in, right? The carabiners just clips in from the end of the bar like this. Now I can clip the carabiner into the end of this anchor point, and I can train in the comfort of my own home. So there's no excuses not to strength train on your off days and getting better golf fitness. And by the way,
that door anchor, by the way, is the way that we use it. That it works great.
Yeah, I think you were saying you have one of these at home and you use it at home with the door anchor. So you're in your garage, you're in your office, you're in your den. And even, I tell you what, even between some Zoom calls or if you're working at home, taking care of kids, whatever it is you're doing, get up and do a couple exercises. I mean, it is unbelievable how little it takes to get in shape. But the converse is true also. It's unbelievable how when you do very little, how fast you can get out of shape. It's kind of exponential. And I'm not saying it's fair. I didn't design this system, folks. But you have to, you can come back from being sedentary very quickly if you put in some consistent effort and time. One other thing I want to say about this system, which is kind of cool, is that, first of all, it comes with a light and a medium cord, which is really important because some people, maybe if you're more petite, you weigh 115 pounds, you're probably going to start with the light cord. However, you can progress to the medium. Other folks like myself, I'm 6'2", couple hundred, 220. I'm going to use a medium cord. Sometimes I connect both cords, a medium and a light, which creates a heavy cord. The other thing that this system comes with is these handles. Now, if you're watching live, you can see the handle. If you're not watching live, it's literally like a handle that you'd put on a resistance training machine at the gym, like an adjustable cable pulley machine. So you've got the handle on there, and let's say you've tweaked your shoulder, and it's not terrible, but you're feeling a little tweak in your shoulder. You go onto the app, and you go into the shoulder protocols or the rehab protocols, and we've got a Bulletproof Your Shoulder program. In fact, there's one that I taught in there. And we go through basic shoulder exercises to get the muscles around the rotator cuff, to get the muscles around the scapula-thoracic joint, to get all those muscles firing again so that we can have a strong, viable shoulder and play golf forever.
Awesome stuff, Pete. One thing I want to mention before we wrap up here today, because Peter's talked about it a couple of times where he's used the word progressive. And it's really important to underscore that it is progressive in terms of program, but it's personal to you. So in the piece that you saw heading into this, a feature that I shot from St. Andrews, that was me doing my physical assessment. That was the first time that I'd done any of these moves. So you could tell they were kind of slow and they were kind of measured. And it's funny now, nearly a year on, watching those videos and kind of laughing at myself going, because I'm doing it every other day now in training. But the critically important thing is that Pete and all of the great trainers that are on there, experts, will be working with your capacity. They will challenge you, don't get me wrong, but they're working with your capacity from point A to B to C as you move on down the line. And Pete, that's one of the things that I think is so ingenious about what you guys do is that one is people are going to be blown away with the depth and content of what you have. It is so deep and so much to offer. And then the fact that you customize it to the individual on that app is kind of mind-blowing. I just thought maybe you might want to comment about that too.
Well, this is all Dr. Jeremy James, who's the founder of GolfForever. He's a chiropractor from Aspen, and he was seeing patients in Aspen, and he started to notice a trend. Number one, they all golfed. And number two, they all had some kind of tweaks, usually low back pain. And you started to test them. You know, everything starts with an assessment. Even if you're looking at your finances, what does the accountant do? They look at your P&L, right? They assess it. So he would start to assess them. And he said, you know what? These guys are all, it was mainly men that were in their 60s and 70s. These men all have tight hamstrings, so they all have tightness. These men all have weak cores, so they all have weakness. None of these men can balance when you put them on a single leg. They wobble around. And he started to put together this assessment of how can I test these guys quickly and efficiently and effectively, and then how can I prescribe exercises to help work on their deficits. And that was really the start of GolfForever. That's the reason I'm here. So it's a brilliant system. And now, obviously, to be able to offer that digitally is unbelievable, because now in the pocket of your hand, you have basically a physical therapist or chiropractor assessing your body from top to bottom, and then you have a strength coach prescribing you a routine on how to, address any dysfunctions or weaknesses that you have and then that progresses over time. And I hope that we have some fun along the way, because as all of us know, exercise is not super fun. I mean, I've been doing it for 40 years now, and it's hard. It's tedious. It's monotonous. However, if you add a little bit of fun and humor and passion about what you're doing, sometimes that spills over to the client. And so that's what all the coaches try to come at it with, is just a great energy. And we're trying to share our gift, which is the gift of health and wellness and vitality and fitness, with our viewing audience. And it's done pretty well so far. I mean, we have 30,000 subscribers online. So
absolutely incredible. You also have, you mentioned Scotty Scheffler, some of the best players in the world like Scotty that are associated with this. We also saw some quick video with Justin Leonard. Last time I saw Justin, I said, dude, you're looking stronger than I've ever seen you look, right? He's playing in the PGA Tour Champions now, but when you see Justin, he physically looks different than you remember in the past, because he's so much bigger, so much stronger, lean, ripped. So how important has it been to be associated with players of that caliber, just to continue to spread the word about GolfForever?
Well, I mean, Scotty Scheffler is kind of an anomaly, right? He's a Halley's Comet. He's had a year unlike I've ever seen. I mean, maybe Tiger Woods back in the day, but so Scotty Scheffler. But keep in mind, he's a young dude. He's in his athletic prime. I mean, you could, he's going to respond. If you give him the right exercises, he's going to respond. And that's what his strength coach, Dr. Troy Van Biesen down in Dallas, has done with him over the years. He's had him since the high school. And he's incorporated all these golf-specific type of moves, which we now incorporate in the GolfForever program. Justin Leonard's the interesting one to me, because if you ask anybody on the Champions Tour, or anybody that golfs and they're in their mid-50s, late 50s, 60s, 70s, the first thing they'll tell you is, man, if I don't, stretch out, if I don't warm up, I'm in trouble. Not only can I not hit the ball with distance and a good trajectory, but I'm going to tweak something. So it's not just it'd be nice to have, I have to do my GolfForever warm-ups. And Justin Leonard's a great case of that. And he will tell you with 100% authenticity, like, not only do I like to do this, but I have to do this. And you can't get a better testimony than that. And by the way, even people look at me and they think, I'm super athletic, which I'm hanging on by a thread, Matt, but I'm beat up. I'm an ex-athlete. I did martial arts for 20 years, and I grew up in Colorado jumping off of cliffs, skiing, and my body's beat up. So I'm literally the same way. Before I golf, I warm up. It's like 15 or 20 minutes. But let me tell you something, man. Once I've opened up my body and I go to swing, it is significantly different. Not only do I launch them off the tee, I just have a more fluid swing. I can stay in my arc a lot easier because my body's ready and open for that.
It's incredible. Pete Holman is a co-creator of the GolfForever Swing Trainer. As you can see, he is spreading the gospel about the value of GolfForever to everyone and to anyone. If you're looking to improve the quality of your golf game, if you're looking to play what you love to do, play golf and more, without any pain, without tweaking your body, as he phrased it, then you can be well on your way with GolfForever. It's worked for me. I absolutely love it. Pete, I'm proud of you guys. I know that you're doing everything that you described, but I think it's deeper. I think it's changing lives as much as it is enhancing the depth and joy of golf games, or as you phrased it, go off and do whatever it is you want to do, if it's hiking up that hill or that mountain. So for all of that, thank you very much, my friend. It's been incredible.
We appreciate you, Matt, and I'll leave you with this. One of my favorite icons of all time is Bruce Lee. I came up in the martial arts, and Bruce Lee used to always say, in any passionate pursuit, the pursuit counts more than the object being pursued. And I think it's such a great analogy to life and to golf, right? Everybody wants to be a scratch golfer. Everybody wants to have a hole-in-one and have the best game ever. But it's the pursuit that gets you closer and closer and closer to the finish line. The same is true with your health, your wellness, your fitness, and your vitality. So if you want to play high-level golf, if you want to play GolfForever, you got to get the GolfForever swing trainer. You got to try the app and come train with us.
GolfForever.com, folks, is where you can go for more information on everything that you heard us talking about today. GolfForever.com, so that you can do exactly what Pete just said. You can golf forever and so much more. Pete Holman, thank you very much for your time. It's great catching up.
Thanks, Matt.
In Ireland, golf is more than just a game. Come and experience our world-famous links courses and our world-famous Parkland courses, all set alongside world-famous scenery. And visit our world-famous historic sites. And while you're here, enjoy our world-famous hospitality. Fill your heart with Ireland at ireland.com/golf.
Ben Hogan Golf Equipment is back. Established in 1953, we serve golfers who demand excellence of their equipment. Designed by the game's best engineers, forged in the world's best foundries, and built to order in the USA. Don't settle for off-the-rack disappointment. Elevate your game with custom clubs at direct-to-consumer pricing. Exclusively at benhogangolf.com. That's benhogangolf.com.
The best feeling iron I've ever hit. Introducing the new Gen 7 irons, the greatest leap forward in irons technology, in performance, in PXG history. Our new quantum core material explodes off the face. Are you kidding me? The Gen 7 irons deliver groundbreaking new levels of forgiveness, speed, distance, and feel. That's what I'm talking about right there. Look at that trajectory. Just phenomenal. Gen 7. It doesn't get any better.
PXG, nobody makes golf clubs the way we do, period.
Baseball? Nah. Football? Done it. I think I'm going to go after the PGA Tour.
Playing on the PGA Tour is not easy. But you know what is easy? Hitting the 524 series from Tour Edge.
Hitting linebackers and home runs used to be easy.
Out here, you're going to need all the easy you can get. Introducing the 524 series from Tour Edge. The easiest clubs you'll ever hit. Even the best players in the world can use a little easy.
I like the sound of that. Look out, PGA Tour.
Pound for pound, nothing comes close.
What would your ultimate golf experience be like? Just you and a friend? Or would you round up some buddies for a foursome? Just one day? Or an entire week? There's a good chance your ultimate golf experience could be Michigan's magnificent 10. 10 incredible courses set among 3 remarkable resorts. See for yourself. Book your ultimate golf experience today.
Our journey began with a simple yet powerful vision to provide the world with the highest quality Virginia-type peanuts. The Hubbard Peanut Company, where quality and tradition meet to create an unforgettable experience. Visit hubspeanuts.com to explore our full range of products and place your order today.
PGA Tour Superstore pros aren't born. They're made. Every January, hundreds of associates talk to the top manufacturers, learn about the latest clubs, test the newest equipment, log thousands of hours of training, and together hit over 100,000 balls, all so they can get you the perfect fit.